Hola.
Hola, be jamming to that
What's
theme music
going
that we're doing in
on?
there. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Let me mute myself real quick because I'm about to share this.
Okay. Well, what's going on with you guys? I'm so excited. I don't know why. I just got excited out of nowhere because I had a jam packed day and a jam packed week, and I was just like semi venting earlier, and as soon as that music came on, I just got excited for some reason. Like that's a good thing. I don't even need a reason for that. But yeah.
Nope, no reason at all. I'm excited too. I don't know why. I be giddy sometimes when it's time for us to go live because I'm like, oh, I get to talk to my sister.
Yes, that's probably what it is right there. It's like, oh.
So, quick question: have you had a chance to catch any of the interviews for Ready to
Love? Sadly, well, no, I did see one with Blake, and
Okay.
I recently saw. Well, I mean, like not since we last talked. I saw that Blake interview like before we talked last, and then I saw one with. I saw one with Simone interviewing Sue Ann, which really made me understand where she was coming from because I remember way back in the beginning of the season I remember thinking to myself, like, oh man, she's kind of naive. But I don't think that about her anymore. I think people just be like, well, this isn't that serious. So, I'm not gonna
And
address it.
to interject about Sue Ann, so she was working obviously the Shanquella Robinson case, right?
Yeah.
She was on. They did a press conference yesterday, so she could update everybody. And I said this in the beginning of that too. Do not be surprised if some of these people or all of them do not catch charges. You know what I'm saying? It seemed so real when it first came out, but like people have been, it's not uncommon for people to feel like they can beat stuff that happens over there. But she did a press conference and she was very, very she was doing her job, you know what I'm saying? So I mean
Yeah.
that was the shining light in that for me. Like that's what's up. Just to see her do that. And she had already been on a reality show, right? But she was doing her thing yesterday. So shout out to Sue Ann because, and then they're doing a rally, they're planning a rally in May to go.
Okay, cool. So I don't know where it stands. I know that they said they weren't going to be able to press charges,
Mhm.
or that the U.S. maybe wasn't going to press charges, or I don't
Well,
know what
it
it
was
said.
kind of like this. It was kind of like, okay, U.S. was like, well, they don't have all the evidence, or they already said this, and then Mexico's like, well, the U.S. It's
It's like,
like
oh, you
a
ain't gonna say nothing. Well, we ain't gonna say nothing. Oh, you
well,
ain't
it's
gonna say
like a
nothing.
nothing burger because they claim that they don't have certain evidence, but she made a good point when she did her press conference that when you let a lot of time pass like this over stuff, they didn't take it seriously. When you let a lot of time pass like this, the evidence like disappears. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it was really crazy because the only reason that it did get picked up when it did was because of the people discussing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a sad situation, but I want to say to anybody, especially like people with kids that are like young adults, they about to go, do their summer travels, they're doing spring break or whatever. Make sure you talk to your kid about, just kind of trying to know who your friends are or not
Yeah,
to be so trusting in certain situations. I mean, that was crazy. That was, I mean, because we all saw the tape. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. That
something
was
happened.
sad.
So that was crazy.
That
So
was real
anyway,
sad.
I know that's not what we're here to talk about, but I wanted to know. Okay, so you saw her interview, and you did not see the Tony interview.
I did not see my client's interview. I pressed to go back and watch it.
You
I just
have to watch
wasn't
it
caught up this week.
because he
It's still on
interviewed
my.
with. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say it's still on my like to watch list. I just haven't gotten the chance to do
You
it.
have to go back and watch the Tony interview because Rashid from Ages and Stages did an interview with him, and he asked him all the questions everybody wanted to know. Rashid was doing, he was batting 1,000 with the questions.
Okay, I do believe that.
Yeah, he did good, and I think Simone was in the chat saying that she had stuck a couple of her questions in there too, and Rashid asked all them jokes with a straight face. I mean, him and Tony both had a good game face. I could tell it was a couple of times that Rashid wanted to laugh or make like
Yeah,
a funny face, but he was holding his composure or
he took
whatever.
it
But
serious. I like it.
I found out Tony was an Aries, and now it all makes sense, guys. It all makes sense. And he
You
was
know
an
what?
Aries
Open
and
and
he's
shut
like
case, Johnson. Open and shut case, Johnson. Now, no one should have any other questions referring to my client. We should all have that as
no,
the
but
answer.
for real though, I do have to say he did come off to me, and this is just my opinion. He came off to me like he is a genuine person, but you know, dudes on a regular anyway make dumb moves sometimes. And an Aries is definitely gonna make some dumb moves, okay? But
Yeah.
they're not afraid to apologize when they're wrong, and they're not afraid to take accountability. And he did he did come off to me like he wanted to. Now he's thinking about how it looks, right? And how everything looks. He was apologetic to all of the ladies, and he was talking a lot about his son because his son actually one of his older sons actually watched the show. So he had to have that conversation as well. So I don't know. I'm not saying that he ain't still, you know what I'm saying, player from the Himalayas, smooth Tony from up top, but I think that he gets what happened. And he was, the interview was good to me. So definitely go and watch that.
I like it.
Yeah, so I haven't watched anybody else's interview. I did see that Kamisha had done something because there was a question of whether Blue might have been falsely arrested. I gotta watch the video to find out. Yeah, I gotta find out what actually happened. I don't know what actually happened, but yeah. So that was that. But I wanted to ask you off topic real quick. I think I asked you this, but I can't remember what we said. I was supposed to be looking it up. Love and Marriage DC, did they play the reunion yet? I mean, did they have their
I don't think so, because when I'm looking at the website, I mean, this gonna be a little bit behind anyway. But the last thing I see is the Nightmare on Christmas Eve episode, which was episode 210.
That was at the end of March.
I don't think so, because I think I would have, and I think I looked for it last week. Let me just Google Love and Marriage DC season 2 reunion. But yeah, I think that they definitely be milking this because I mean, why wouldn't they? It's like let everybody get the chance to catch up on all the shows and be anticipating the reunion, and then we're going to
the
last one I saw was in 2022.
I think the last episode was like March 25th. So did you ever start watching Love is Blind?
Did I?
It's on Netflix. No.
Sadly, guys, but I did start watching Put a Ring on It.
Okay, good.
I have half my assignments, guys.
I asked you that because they're doing, like Chris Rock did his special live on Netflix. Love is Blind reunion is going to be, I feel like what's the 15th? What's today? It's going to be Friday or Saturday. They're doing a live reunion on Netflix. So I'm all here for a live reunion though. Like, so
for Love is Blind?
Yeah, I feel like
all right, so it's not enough time for me to get caught up. Yes, it is.
I feel like some of these other shows need to follow suit, because how are they going to be able to do a live reunion when all of these other shows have to have like 17-hour filming days, and then they got to put stuff together? Like,
they're going to do something
I'm
crazy.
Sure somebody else did a live reunion too, but like, why can't they? I just wish that it was some elements that they could take from these other reality shows, as far as how they make the matches. Like the Ultimatum, they fucking had those matches down.
Ultimatum matches
like
were wild.
People, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just interesting to me how, but I will say for Ready to Love, one thing that I want them to stop doing is stop going to seek out people for the show. Because even if that person is like, okay, well, let me give it a chance and see if I can find love, at the end of the day, that's not what they were setting out to do before you called them. But a person who was really out here dating and whatever, that went to apply for the show, let those people on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we like to see a beautiful cast. But
how do they do that? I mean, like, what do you know about that? Like, tell me, spill the beans. Like, how do they? So they're doing it differently than the casting.
Well, they've been doing so in the beginning. I don't know if they did that. They may have had somebody on it that they had to go find because they were trying to fill the spots. But it seemed like it was mostly people who were actually ready to love and apply for the show. These days, they are finding people. Like I think they went to go approach Walter. They approached Blake. They approached. I think they approached Tony too. Everybody is saying, I didn't apply for the show. They reached out to me. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, that's cool. We like to see a pretty cast, but it would be more authentic if, like, it's just like somebody that's looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come to me and ask me if I want the job, but I'll be like, all right, well, yeah, y'all paying enough, I'm gonna come. But if it's a person who really, really wants this job, they're gonna be different than the person who you asked to come do it. As in my opinion, I don't know. That's just how I see it. I feel like it would be more authentic because these people would actually be thinking, I want to go meet somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to go eat, like, you're not thinking about eating right now, but if I'm saying you want to go eat, you're going to go. You're not going to be like all excited because it's not really your idea, but you're going to be like,
Yeah,
I
it's
can
like,
eat.
yeah,
You know
sure,
what I'm
I'll
saying?
do it.
That's kind of how I look at it.
You know what? That makes sense for me for them to bring people on. Like, it makes sense as to some of the characters I've seen on there that I felt like Mark Anthony, perfect example. Because I was just like, why did he sign up for the show? And maybe he didn't, because it's like, he seemed like a nice guy, but it just didn't seem like he was ready to settle down or anything like that. I don't think he was looking for love. He was a good looking man. He has a good career path ahead of him, as far as I could tell from what he said, and he wouldn't have any problems getting a date. So I wasn't, not that these people have problems getting dates, but it was just like, ready to love, like, what is the real motive here? Like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're doing casting calls.
Like, he was really looking to be ready to love. I wasn't really sure if he was, right? I was just thinking like, but you're not, though.
I want to see his interview too, but they be doing casting calls and stuff. I just feel like in order for it to be a little bit more organic and the connections to actually be there like that, I feel like that's a element. You got to come and apply for yourself, because that shows that you really are wanting to be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking too far into it or whatever, but I just watch shows like The Ultimatum and stuff like that, and like people, the way that they do the matches, it just seems to work out better, whatever they do, in that or whatever. But I don't know. But anyway, so when you watch Put a Ring on It, what was your first thoughts about that? Because you never watched that show.
I thought it was funny. Like, I thought it was interesting because I felt like, who are these people? Hold up, let me find out the cast members' names. There's some really good looking people on there. First of all, stop Dr. Stacy. Okay, let's talk about this. I cannot get over the fact that she was in that movie with Bill Bellamy called How to Be a Player. Every time I look at her, I just think about her character.
Was she?
How to Be a Player. She was in How to Be a Player. She was the freaky one. He had all these women, right? He was like, oh, I got this one, and the one that cooks, and the one that does this, and the one that's married, and the one that's da-da-da-da. And she was like, she might have been the one that was married. I can't remember.
You know what? That's why she was interested in me. Because I've seen her on YouTube. I mean, I've seen her on YouTube and Instagram. Like last year, she does dating advice and stuff like that. She's like not for the week, but I didn't realize she was on.
You know how I am with Faces.
I'm gonna watch that movie tonight.
You know how I am with Faces. As soon as I saw the promos come up on the screen, like as I was watching other own shows, I literally was like, "That's the lady from How to Be a Player." Yeah, you know how I am. I might not know somebody's name, but I'll be like, "Hey, you were extra number 3 on the street in Sesame." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I've learned my lesson with you, challenging you on that. You be real good with knowing those faces from movies. It was another doctor last year. Her name was Dr. Nicole. So they're different. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Nicole was a little more, I don't know. She was a little more, I don't even know how to say it. Like, she wouldn't say some of the stuff that Stacey would say. Like, Dr. Stacey's gonna call you out. Like, and Dr. Nicole would call people out too, but she would do it in a nicer way, or like a more professional way. I don't even want to say nicer, because I don't feel like Dr. Stacey was mean. I feel like she was being blunt. But Dr. Stacey was also, Dr. Nicole was also good too. I don't know why they what made them make what happened. I hope that she moved on to something good or whatever. But she was good. But Dr. Stacy is gonna bring some entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it so far. So the standout couple, well, all of them are really standout to me. But I like the first thing when they did like the first dates or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now Dunbar and Chance, I guess the names of the people I'm thinking about. When that dude came to pick her up, I just thought that was too much. Okay, like come on, dude, get it together. Like
Oh my
like,
God,
I'm gonna be honest, he seems a little insecure, and I haven't seen past. I think I saw like maybe did I see the first and second episode?
okay.
But yeah, more to come on that. I don't want to
Yeah,
ruin it
keep
for
watching.
myself. I gotta keep watching, but okay, but just Love is Blind. I have to say this because well, before we moved in, let me just say shout out to Oprah and OWN Network because I remember when it first started, and like she was only like a few months in, and people were talking about how like it was tanking or something. And I remember obviously everybody knows who Oprah is. She had the Oprah Winfrey Show for over like over 20 years, and she decided to build her own network. And then when she first started, it wasn't going the way that she had envisioned. And she said this one thing that I'll never forget. She was like, I'm going to turn this thing around. And it made me feel like, well, wow, like if Oprah has a project that's not working the way that she had anticipated, like certainly like nothing that I'm going to do, you know what I'm saying, is as big as what she's had been doing at the time. But it's just like, yeah, I could think that way too. You know what I'm saying? So a shout out to her because so many of the shows that I watch faithfully are on OWN. Like so many of them.
So I have to interrupt you on this, but she sold most of her share in OWN a while ago. She's in a joint thing with I think Disney and Warner Brothers or whatever, but she doesn't
Yeah.
own most of it. But
I did see that, but I'm just saying that the channel I
yeah.
feel is doing okay. Like I know that the ratings aren't
I like
through
the
the
show
roof, but
before.
I like the programming. So
I like,
there's
and
that.
also another show I watch is Family or Fiance. Have you watched that? So
Beyonce.
it's like a thing where I guess they come to this house for like 3 days, and it's like people are gonna get married, right? Two people are gonna get married, and they bring both of their families, three members from both of their families, to say what they think the issues are, as to why they think they, you know, what they would have problems with or what they have problems with now, and then they ask them for their blessing at the end of the 3 days after they do like different exercises where they get to, you know, be questioned by the other family. They gotta, you know, do family dinners and stuff like that. And there's a doctor on there that's funny too. Her name is actually Dr. Tracy McMillan, like the lady that was that's the author. Um, but she's a little funny too, but she will definitely like be real with people. She'll you know, let people know, look, you're the problem. You know what I mean? You have to stop doing this or you have to stop doing that. So that show's good too. I like own shows. I like shout out to
I
own.
do too, and I mean, people are watching them all across the world. So I mean, like, I'm grateful for this type of programming, and it's hilarious. Okay, so now I see Family and Fiance. Let me just say,
Yo,
now that
it's funny. It's fun. I mean, some of the episodes are funny. Some of them are like, you know, they have real issues, but some of them it's just funny to watch, you know, how people do, you know what I mean? Like how mothers can sometimes interfere, and you know, the doctor has to tell them that they need to stop doing what they're doing, or you know, just family members have certain influences sometimes. So it's really funny to watch
yeah,
some of the episodes, but check it out. Check that out too.
I will. It's so funny how I did see some of these trailers, like some of the clips for this. I'm looking at these faces and some of them are familiar. But yeah, it is crazy how people don't even realize how much influence and how much, you know, what they're doing is affecting other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to watch this. I don't have anything like that in my situation, but I mean, I've seen it, so I know a little bit about that. So okay, down to Love Is Blind. Now, even though I haven't watched this, so I've been hearing about this show from every which way. Like I'll be watching planner videos, and the people in the planner videos are like, "Oh, Love Is Blind is crazy." Some people talking about it at work. It's like, wow, like
This season was wild. It was wild. There's a couple of things that happened that just kind of, from what I heard some of the bloggers say, is that like it's like one of the, it's making it one of the most like I don't want to say epic, but it's making it one of the most talked about seasons in a while. I mean, people are reviewing it, but some of the things that happen in it just were like, okay, what's happening
All
now?
right, don't tell me. All right, I'm making that my priority this week.
I'm
But
not gonna tell you. I'll wait till you watch it, and then I'll direct you other places to go because of what happened afterwards. Like the major gist of the show is they date each other in these pods, and they don't get to see each other. They can only hear each other's voices, and they have the guys in one place, they have the girls in one place, and so at the same time that they're having these dates, they to go back to the men's quarters or the women's quarters, and they're talking about their dates. And you can imagine some of the people are dating and liking the same dudes. You know what I mean? So it gets a little bit messy. But hey, Ellen, what's going on? And
hey,
so,
Ellen.
it's worth the watch though. I think it's worth the watch. I might yeah, I have to keep watching that show. So anyway, but they're doing their reunion live on Saturday, I think, on Netflix. So
All right, so
but you'll be watching it after you catch up. So, but it'll already be there. But
well, I think I have some time because I'm working from home. I can watch TV in the background, and I'm gonna be watching that joint. Okay, Monique put her on the Love Is Blind, and I love it. I'm gonna watch that joint basically on Friday, and when by the time
please watch it
airs, I'm gonna be on because how many?
Because your aunt, one of your aunts, went to my Facebook page and like,
I know what you're talking
and
about.
she was like, "Love Is Blind is casting in DC," and I just laughed my butt off because I was like, I'm
good.
No, ma'am.
Thanks.
No, ma'am.
That's hilarious. Okay, so back to so we're gonna watch Love and Marriage DC when that comes out, like with the reunion. And I almost feel like
Gwendolyn,
did you catch up on that joint?
I did catch up on it. That's why I was like, did I miss the reunion? Because I went back thinking that it came on this past week and I didn't see anything. So that's why I was like, let me check with you. I didn't see it and I hadn't seen anybody talking about it. So
do you want to talk about what has happened transpired over the situationship of this show? Or do you want to wait until I kind of want to
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay, well, before we do that, I do want to shout out, not that I know these people or anything, but just something that I really appreciate. And let me just pull this up. Actually, it's two things, isn't it?
What?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is news that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, if not last week. It is about, can I get my life together real quick? Okay.
Oh yeah, the possible
deal
for the Washington Commanders.
Listen, guys, this thing is about to happen. Okay, Dan Snyder agrees to a $6 billion deal, a Commanders sell to Josh Harris and Magic Johnson Group.
Get on out
of there. We're about to have the first Black NFL owner of a team. I'm so excited. Like, I don't think people realize how much money it is in the NFL. Like, it's something that's never, in my opinion, right? It's never going to go away. Whether it's good or bad, you're always going to, people are always going to be buying jerseys. They're always going to be selling, airtime, merch. There's always going to be job opportunities. People take their children and their families to ball games as like a pastime, as a favorite America's pastime. Like this, there's a reason that the Super Bowl is so widely talked about. People who don't even watch football have Super Bowl parties. So it's like,
I mean, people go to Super Bowl parties just to socialize. So I mean, we need the football parties. You know what I'm saying? I went on a whole ski trip for Super Bowl weekend just because I didn't even really care about the game, but it was just fun happening. You know what I'm saying? But you know how long we've been trying to get rid of Snyder?
Oh God. He's definitely stayed in there, and now he's about to go ahead and take this cash out and be on his merry little way. But I mean, I would imagine, like, I wouldn't want to let that joint go either. It's an ATM. It's a cash machine. Like, of course, you don't want to sell your biggest asset. I don't know what his assets are. I'm just out here talking. But I wouldn't want to sell the Commanders either, even though I cry in my beer every year watching them play football. I do feel like
he's owned them for like a long ass time.
Yeah, and he's and very shittily, I might add. The amount of scandal and attention and like poor, you know, media that has been covering them with the front office and the back office and all the stuff that's happened to the cheerleaders and the way that they run that place. Like they're going to be giving a parade the day that he gets out of there. It's going to be like when Obama took office and no one even cared if George Bush actually made it on the helicopter. We were just so excited that President Obama was among us. And I don't even know what happened to George Bush after that. Like he could have literally fell down the steps. Nobody was watching.
Come on, damn way.
No one was watching. So that's what's going to happen with Dan Snyder. We're going to be so busy welcoming in the new blood that we're just.
I gotta fucking put on my glasses to see. How much was this deal?
Oh my God! You know you look like just now. You look like your father when you.
How much was this deal for?
$6 billion.
Okay, so his net worth. Dan Snyder's net worth is $4.9 billion. Well, it was $4.9 billion. But he bought the Washington Commanders for $750 million. He had borrowed $350 million to do that, and now they're worth $5.6 billion. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like what?
Yeah, for sure. And I
don't know what happens to the cheerleaders.
They were like being sexually harassed or something like that. I'm gonna find the story and refresh my memory, but there was a whole bunch of stuff. It was just like a dysfunctional home. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you see kids from a dysfunctional home and you know, like, damn, y'all probably ain't eat, your clothes ain't clean. Who knows what's happening over there? But you just know that some shit's going on, and you kind of look out for them a little bit. Like, okay, you can come, watch movies over here, or you can come do whatever. But you know the kids ain't being treated well. That's how I felt. Every story I would hear about the Commanders or the Redskins, as I still call them from time to time. Even though I'm sorry, people, like that's just the way it's got to be. I'm not always going to remember, and I hope they change the name from Commanders. I'm just going to say that out loud.
I feel like we could pick something cooler. Like I feel like we can.
Yeah, I mean, I was really down with like the Wolves or the whatever, but yeah. So there were.
I don't know what the other choices were. I mean, I forgot what was being tossed around. But I don't know. I just said that it sounded like an arena football name versus like, when you hear some of the names in the NFL, it's just like classic, right? But this, and then if this doesn't stick, then it looks even worse because it's like they can't even figure out what they want to be called. So I really hope that good changes.
It's a dysfunctional family. It's like nothing really shocking coming out of there. It's like, oh, these kids. Somebody take care of them.
I always say it's like a bad relationship being a fan because it's like, even though they let me down every week, I still go back to see if they change. Just like if I was with a dude that he cheated on me last week, I'm gonna go back. Am I gonna go back next week and be like, let me see if he does it again? Maybe he'll do right this time.
Yeah,
it's a toxic relationship, but I hope that changes.
So I'm reading this from the Daily Mail, and some of it is coming back to me. There were several sexual harassment claims after owner Dan Snyder asked the cheerleader to meet his friend at a hotel in 2004, and an exec ordered a lewd video calendar shoot outtake. So basically, they thought they were doing like a cheerleader's calendar, but then somebody was filming them behind the scenes, and then that came out, and it was just like, what the hell? Like, I just came to work here, and apparently some people were like topless, unfortunately. And then Dan Snyder asking one of the cheerleaders to go to a hotel room to get to know his personal friend. What do you think this is, a brothel? This is an organization.
But yeah, that does kind of
like looking
like y'all been doing this.
Let me just say this, and this is so horrible that I'm about to say this, but looking at his face, I just really wouldn't put that past him. He looks like
this ain't the first time he probably did that. He been doing that.
Yeah, I feel like, and then I mean, I'm not trying to make him out to be a villain or whatever, but I know there's plenty of stories out there about him. But it's just like when people get in power positions like that, they feel like they can't be stopped. Like nothing's off the table. Like you could just do whatever you want. And I'm not trying to make some case for him because I really don't care. I mean, he's getting ready to be out of here.
I
But
mean, if he didn't feel like that, why would he do it? You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. And so these claims came out. I think it started in 2020, but it might have started in 2018. But 15 different women had accused the team of permitting a hostile work environment, rife with sexual harassment. I don't even know what rife is, but I have to imagine by the context that it means like like pumped up with like you know what I'm saying, like with sexual harassment. It's just like you come to work and somebody's like smacking your ass or saying something crazy or showing some porn or something like that. I'm imagining this stuff because 15 different women accused the people of that and accused the team of it.
And it's probably more. It's probably more that just didn't probably want to.
Yeah, that are just like, whatever. I'm gonna get out of here, or I'm not gonna say anything. So, and then he, I remember he just kept on coming out and as every claim that was happening and saying like this never happened, and then they were gonna summon him to testify in front of Congress, and there was all this stuff that was happening.
What? Like, spell the word rife.
What situation?
Spell the word rife.
RIFE.
Okay, so
we're all gonna learn a vocabulary word today, guys. If you don't know, so can you imagine, Ellen? I mean, like I can imagine. I've been in situations before, but like as a cheerleader, I just feel like that's pretty. It's a pretty horrible situation because you're thinking it's not some Applebee's somewhere. Like this is an owner of an NFL team. Like who are you gonna go and tell? And what's going to happen? And clearly, we didn't see anything happen. So I don't know if they settled out of court or if it just like went by the wayside. Like, oh, this used to be an allegation, and like we thought, no one cares, and so we can just bury that.
That's right.
So anyway, there's that. So I'm really excited that Magic Johnson is going to be the first Black part owner of an NFL team. We all know who Magic Johnson is, I believe, and he's come a long, long way since when. Yeah, so I'll just leave it there.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened.
He's been through a lot of stuff. He's been through a lot of stuff. I was getting ready to bring up that time when he had to come out and tell everybody that he had HIV. And that was eons ago when I was in like, elementary school. And like, look how far he's come. And I remember thinking like,
some people don't believe he ever had it, but I don't know.
Perhaps, or else otherwise he might just had so much money that he went and got it treated.
But I don't really know nobody, especially a Black man, who would be like, okay, I'll play like I have it.
And then the amount of, I'm sure, embarrassment that comes with that. Because I remember at the time, and even now, it's a big deal. But like at that time, people were so polarized. Like it was such a polarizing thing. It's like, you have what? Don't breathe on me. Don't come in my stratosphere. So I don't think anybody, I don't know. I don't put anything past anybody. But I'm so glad to see him doing well, and I love his family. He had a reality show out there for a minute. It might have just been his son who was in a reality show, and they all were featured. But his son and his adopted daughter and his wife Cookie, I love them. I just think they're really cool, and I'm so glad that we finally have one of the part owners.
Now we just have to see if the team, what happens with the team, right? Like what happens with the team, so because stuff like that can boost morale. So anyway. But I was gonna say what rife meant. It can be an adjective or it could be an adverb. As an adjective, it says of common occurrence or semicolon widespread. So the example sentence that they have is funny because it says male chauvinism was rife in medicine in those days. And then this one says, the streets were rife with rumor and fear. So like full of. And then the adverb is in an unchecked or widespread manner. Speculation ran that he was an arms dealer. Those are the example sentences. So
the environment was rife with harassment. I'm sorry, I know how to say it because I don't know what it means. So
I'm not surprised though, because it's like that in a lot of spaces. You know what I'm saying? especially when it comes to the cheerleaders are there to entertain the crowd, right? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of those football players come on that team, and it's not even. I can imagine what they all have seen. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know Snyder like that, but I know that we've been not, we've been wanting him to go ahead and just do something else for a long time, and he has now. So, shout out to him.
Yes.
Holla.
Yes, heard.
Anyway.
All right, let's get into this Ready to Love. Actually, let me give one more little shout out. It's very short. I don't know if I even did this before, but I don't know if anybody watches the Know For Sure podcast. It's called the Know For Sure Pod with B. Simone and Megan Brooks. Did I talk about that before?
Mm-hmm,
I just wanted to give them a quick shout out. I wasn't sure if I had actually mentioned them before, but it's nice to see people that are like us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I like their podcast.
I love that, and I feel like they're perfect amount of like honest and humor, and they have really good conversations, and I just really appreciate that. So I was gonna just shout them out once more.
So while we're on the subject of good podcasts, you know what I'm saying? And specifically good podcasts with our fellow Black women. There's another podcast who I feel the same way about, as far as like how honest they are, how they have the discussions, and that's their podcast is called See the Thing Is, and it's these girls, and I can't remember what Mandy did before she did this podcast, but she did a lot of things. But there's a singer on there too. There's a girl that used to sing.
All right, so now you're gonna make me bring this up. Oh, and they talk about Marcus Houston. Lord Jesus.
I love their podcast.
Lord Jesus. Oh yeah, I remember her. She did the original take of New York that ended up being done by Alicia Keys.
Yeah, Alicia Keys.
So what is her name? Her name is not Brooke.
I don't know why I can't remember her. I know Mandy's name, but her name escapes me. I apologize for that, sister, if you're watching, but I love the podcast.
It's Bridget Kelly.
Bridget Kelly. Yes. Mandy and Bridget Kelly. They are funny. They're consistent. They keep it real. I like it. So yeah, shout out to Know For Sure podcast and See the Thing Is.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go and listen to them. I mean, like, I'm gonna go follow the podcast because I can see, like, I already knew that she was like a funny person with good conversation because it's something that she, like, one of those behind the scene things. Like, you remember Diary on BET, or like those behind the scenes documentary docu-series shows, and I saw her on something like that, and I remember thinking like, oh, she seems really cool. So I'm definitely gonna go look for that. Okay, so let's talk about Love and Marriage DC.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and share this to our feed because I need to be able to have this visual so I can really point out what's happening here, guys. I really need to point out what's happening. Okay, so I think when we left off, because this is not even all of the clips. When we first started, I remember this was from last season, but Jamie and little Jamie got into it. Ashley was having issues with her mom. We talked about that, and then Sherelle had beef, or actually Sherelle didn't have beef, but Black had beef with Joy, or Joy had beef with Black, vice versa, whatever. And then Sherelle got involved, so there was that. And then I remember us kind of like ending off when Clifton he wasn't confronting him, but the guys had gotten together to sort of like talk about the recent happenings, and all the women had agreed that like, oh, you shouldn't have brought that up at Quicksilver's event, but you shouldn't let it fester either. You guys should talk about it. But we never got to see any resolution between Joy and Black, Alfred, but I do feel like, they just kind of swept it under the rug. But it also made me feel like, why even bring that up if it's not a storyline? And like, I don't know, it just didn't seem so well thought out by production, if I'm being honest. And I'm not saying that they can control all the variables, but it's like if you're going to introduce a story and it really didn't have any resolution, I just didn't understand what was even the point. But I guess it caused a lot of drama, so maybe that's what the purpose was. Or maybe they're just doing this real time and figuring out their lives just like we are.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I feel like dudes do get together and they have a talk about stuff, but like Clifton is in a weird situation because he's just meeting all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Alfred knows how messy his wife can be. Cliff know how messy his wife can be, and they're just, like, oh, okay, now we're here.
Now we're here, and nobody's backing down, and it's like everybody should have the leeway to be themselves. But as we can see, there was some things that just didn't get resolved. So okay, let me move on from there because nothing really happened there.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the reunion on that.
Hello. So then we move on to winter, and they had a show or a segment. I don't know if it was a whole show or if it was just a segment addressing like why is winter here. It was a play on what Arena had asked. Like they got together at Ashley's house, and previously Ashley and Winter weren't getting along, so I guess they agreed to like squash it. Now this is what's interesting because I follow Ashley on Instagram, and right around this particular time, when that show aired, there was a live that happened, and I think I like reached out to you, but you were busy. You were doing something, and
yeah, I missed that.
There was so many things happening on the live that I felt not so many things, but it just had an air about it that made me feel like there was a motive or something had happened that we hadn't been looped into. So I remember feeling that way, and then thinking like, yeah, why is Winter now like here? Because she's not, at that point she wasn't in love, she wasn't in marriage, so it's like, why are you here? You know what I'm saying? Like the show is called Love and Marriage, so and it should just always seem to be being messy. Now, like maybe like the next episode or the one after that, Sherelle introduced Winter to a man named Yusuf.
That dude, yeah.
Cool dude, cool seeming dude, and they seemed to hit it off. After that, I don't know what happened, but I felt like I liked Winter more after she was
less annoying. Yeah,
and I think
that last week. Yeah,
I saw a different side of her. It was like she had some business to tend to, and it just looked good on her. And then she ended up turning the Gutter Barbie song into something more positive. And it seemed like it was like a fun thing. And then he ended up rapping on it, so that was kind of like one of the last episodes.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think the week that it aired or whatever, and I was saying how I thought that was tight because it didn't matter what he said. It was the fact that he did that for her or whatever. And I feel like she's going to be, less, annoying to the group now that dude is in the picture. So, and I will repeat what I said about him. His name is Yusuf. Don't let me see Yusuf on these DC streets. Like, no. Like, no. I think that they look cute together.
They do, but yeah.
Just jokes, guys.
Okay, so now we're going to get into it because two of our favorite characters, Ashley and Joy, are at that point started to butt heads, and it was because of the reason for it. And wait, before I go there, let me pause because at some point in between this that I'm about to say, Joy and Clifton met up with another castmate from the show they were on, which was season 4, 5. I don't remember what season of Ready to Love they were on.
5. I think
they met up with Carmen, and Carmen actually made a comment that I was like, oh, that's an interesting viewpoint, and I feel like it was a little bit correct after the fact. So basically what she was saying is like, so Joy was saying like she felt like Ashley and her friend were like a little messy or whatever. And although I didn't, they know each other better, I don't know them like that. I just like them both. I like Joy and I like Ashley, but at the time I was like, oh, are they messy for real? Well, Joy would know more than I would know. But then Carmen said, oh, based off of what she had shared with her, Carmen was like, oh, it seems like somebody wants to be like the head
They want to be
the top billing sort of like diva-ish sort of thing. And I was like, really? Is that the case? And I think now that I've seen the entire season, there might be some truth to that. I'm not really sure, but that's what it seemed like, because here's what happened. Joy and Clifton got married apparently and didn't share it with a lot of people, but they
right.
did share it with Arena and they shared it with Ashley. And in a moment of whatever, she was talking to her friend on camera. Ashley ended up revealing their personal business, which of course Joy she took it well, but she was, obviously irritated by it. You said Joy is my favorite. She is one of my favorites. I like her. I like Ashley. Actually, can I say favorite? Because I kind of like all of them. Like, I like Irena. I really like Irena. If I had to choose a favorite, then it might be Irena now that I'm thinking about it. I just love Clifton and Joy. But Irena is so, like, consistent, and she's, I don't know. I really like Irena. If I had to choose my favorite, which I don't, right? But if I had to choose my favorite, I might actually choose Irena. But I do. So here's what I guess. Let me specify. Clifton and Joy were my favorite couple on that Ready to Love that they were on. I definitely put them, above the other people, even though I liked some of those other people too. I liked Paul. And I like
P.O. grew on me.
He definitely did
in the beginning, but
he definitely did. And I liked a couple other people in that season, but Clifton and Joy were my favorite couple. So when they came onto this show, I was excited because it's like all the couples. I liked all the couples. It was like, oh wow.
Honestly, and people can say what they want to about Winter, but I feel like the cast is the cast. Like they have, I mean, just knowing who Sherelle is, Ashley. I feel like this is the perfect little mixture for just great TV.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. That's all I can say. That is how she is. So,
so I wouldn't take Joy on as my client. Tony holds that one slot for now. So there's something about Tony that I just find
an Aries. That's
very interesting, and I just can't let it go. It's not even that I find him attractive or anything like that. I'm not saying he's ugly, but he's not, anything like my type or anything like that. But there's something about Tony that I just feel the need that he just deserves some sort of pass for some weird reason. But Joy, I guess I wouldn't put her up as far as like, some of the other cast members now that I'm thinking about it for real out loud. Like I said, Arena's probably, now that I'm really saying it out loud, Arena's probably my favorite. But I will say that there's something about Joy that I do really appreciate. Her.
I like Joy. I like Joy. But the thing about Joy that people probably don't like is that, she'll take a little bit and then she's not gonna take no shit. Yeah. It's like almost like a switch flips, and you can see it in her face what's gonna happen. So I don't know why she's caught off guard, because
I wonder what her sign is. Do you know what her sign is?
I don't know what her sign is.
She's like an Aries.
I don't know her sign. I don't think she's an Aries. I don't know though. I don't know, but I just feel like I get where she's coming from. You know what I'm saying? And this situation is odd for her and Clifton because they don't really know these people. So it's like I can see in a sense that she would be like, just in her mind, like, I knew something like this was gonna happen because I trusted y'all and I probably shouldn't have, or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah. And here's the thing. Okay, so I got to play both sides of this because that's what I do here, guys. Clifton and Joy were married. They shared the information. Now she said out of her own mouth, "I knew I shouldn't have told so and so. I knew I shouldn't have told everybody." There's a lesson for you. That's right. When you really want to keep a secret, you don't tell anyone. Or you only tell people who you know for sure that you can trust. And I don't think they had a relationship. Obviously, they did not.
No, and I feel like okay, I don't know. And like she said she knew she shouldn't have did it. I feel like that was the last person you should have told, because y'all were about to film. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all were already filming. And it's just like, I can imagine that being a cast on a show where personal business and you are not supposed to share. I can imagine the rush that people who leak stuff out, that they get before they leak it out. Because it's like,
I got something to
Ashley
tell.
knew those damn cameras were rolling, but it probably felt like such a rush to be able to get it out, right? And it's like, no, you shouldn't have did that. But she apologized or whatever. But I would not have told. Yeah, if I really wanted to keep it out, if it was a situation where I was like, I don't want this coming out at all, and I would have just had to be like, I can't tell. I'm sorry, I cannot tell. I cannot.
And
tell.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's several reasons why you would want to keep your business to yourself, but that in that situation, it seemed like such big news that if you did want to keep it secret, then you wouldn't tell a soul. Like you wouldn't even tell anybody who's like, you wouldn't even tell some family members.
I mean, yeah, but if it had like, see, okay, because the thing is like, you also you're meeting these people, and so you want them to feel like, y'all, well, I don't even know if that was the case, because I wouldn't have used nothing like that. But I just feel like this. I feel like if I'm on a show with anybody, I feel like if I give you any type of information that nobody else knows, then all it takes is for a person to sucker it out of you. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm not even.
Or I could just see her saying to somebody, "Oh, I shouldn't tell you this," but in the camera,
I'm not even gonna put you in that situation, because I can only be mad at myself at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that was my point in that, because if you really wanted to keep it secret, like, so here's my thing, and this is the double-sidedness that I'm about to be on with this point. Number one, yeah, sure, she shouldn't have told your business, and that is a reason to be, not on good terms with somebody for a little while. But you have to take some ownership over the fact that you shared it. It's not like she found out from somebody else and came and started spreading it. And even if she did, it's like, it is a secret. So that's the risk that you run for having a secret, but certainly for telling someone. And then it kind of brought up this thing to me. It's just like, is she a serial grudge holder? Because we just saw what happened with her in Black, and that's been for 10 years or something. I don't know, maybe more. So it's like, why, she's finding herself in the situation.
I don't know, because like I said, if you had a friend and some dude had tried to talk to that person and they ended up with somebody else, like that person did your friend wrong, like how cool would you really, like how soon would you be looking at, what, I need to repair this relationship? Like,
yeah,
you would probably be like, well, I would probably be like that too, like, oh, Khadijah don't need you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
So I wouldn't be like, I'm not gonna hold that one against her. But then this one is kind of the same situation to me, as far as like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know you, so it's not like we have this long-standing friendship or whatever. And I would still be cordial and do the things, but I wouldn't tell her nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I won't tell her nothing else.
Yeah, some of the best advice I ever got from a young man named Sean Simmons was
shout out to you, Sean.
Shout out to you, Sean, if you ever see this. There was one time that I had this one friend, and we were, how you start to know somebody and you hang out and you're like, oh, I really like her, I think she's cool. And I said to him, I wouldn't say it exactly like I said. I was like, she's really cool. I feel like I can trust her. And he was like, you do? I was like, yeah. He was like, don't. I was like, whoa, that's what's happening.
Yo, because I'm going to tell you like this, right? You do have a way of being so,
trusting
and trusting. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good attribute for people who are really looking out for you. Well, I mean, you've grown a lot now, but like, you just had this, just like this trusting and open thing, like everybody was just going to be giving that back to you. And so when he gave you that advice, that was good advice, because especially if it's like, somebody that you really don't know like that, like, it
was good advice for me, and it was tailor-made for me. The way that he gave it, I was like, oh, that's where it's happening, right? I was like, oh, there it is. So
you do? Don't.
So I was like, oh, all right.
No, it's sad that it gotta be like that sometimes or whatever. But like you know how I am too. Like, I'm not like, I'll give a person a chance, and I may let you go farther than anybody else is gone. But trust, once you go and you then jumped out that window, I want you to be able to do everything that you was going to do, so that I don't have no type of there's no discrepancies when I do cut you off because you did it. So,
No.
you know.
Well, so
Yeah.
here's the thing that I also got to play the side of is that the fact that no, it's I was talking about that you just
What's
took
up,
out.
bro?
Everyone, my co-star. Well, you're my co-star, but
I'm sorry. Hey, production.
help. Production, yes. So look, so the thing that I wanted to get across on the other side is that okay, like okay, so this is where I would have Joy's back. Like I do have her, I do understand where she's coming from, but when she went and said that, when she went and said that to Ashley, and then Ashley went and disclosed the information that was not hers to disclose, and then Joy was like she needed a minute. They got to an event after it came out, like Joy had found out, and then that she had said it, and then Ashley apologized.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Production, you're on point. Sir. Oh my gosh, I'm being harassed over here, guys. Somebody get Dan Snyder out here to help me.
Oh my God.
So anyway, so at the point where she shared the information that wasn't hers to share, and Joy said, okay, yeah, that's not cool. I need a minute. Say, okay, so that's cool. I get that because yeah, I need a minute. You can't just say you're sorry and now everything's all cool. We're not in second grade anymore. And that's not even second grade. That's like kindergarten when you forgive somebody real quick. Second grade, you gotta hold a grudge for a little bit. You gotta think things through. Now, when she said that, and then Joy walked out of the party, that was not the Christmas party. That was something else. It was another event. I think that was Winter's event, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what it was.
What was the party? Was she? Were you talking about the party
this
where
is when Ashley approached Joy and said,
that
"Hey,
was Ashley's event."
No. This was when, so it was after Ashley made the comment, and then Joy showed up to support. I think it was Winter's event, because on her way out, she was like, "All right, I gotta go." Ashley came and apologized and said, "Hey,
look, Ashley went to her because she was like, I know she just didn't come to my event and not speak to me. So that's why
that
Ashley
was the Christmas party."
Okay, so I thought that was the one where she walked her outside.
No, that was after this happened. So when it first happened and it was fresh, Joy was like, yeah, I need a minute. Because Ashley was like, hey, I apologize to you. And Joy was like, okay. And she was like, well, I gotta go. And she was like, well, okay. But then Ashley went back in with her drink and was talking to them like, well, I don't know what she want me to do because I apologize. So the Christmas party is when shit went down. But that particular time when she had apologized to Joy and Joy wasn't accepting her apology at the time, Ashley took offense to it, and she was basically like, well, I ain't gonna apologize again. And like almost like, I'm ready for you to get over it. So get over it. And that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? When you do something to someone that breaks the trust, you might not ever get it back. So don't just go along like, well, I apologize, and that's all you should need. Because that's not necessarily the case, especially in a new friendship, in a new acquaintanceship. Like, I don't even know if we really friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. And here you go doing this, which I can only imagine that you'll keep doing this. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. She don't really know her like that right now. So any decision that she makes, especially like if you keep coming to try to force it, then that's going to be perceived the wrong way. But make no mistake, I feel like other things have probably happened outside of filming, and they could possibly be cool now. I don't know. I saw something a couple of weeks ago, or maybe last week, where it looked like Carmen had stopped following Joy, but I don't know how true that is. Allegedly, I don't know, because I'm not on either one of their Instagrams to verify it. But everybody was speculating about that, about how she was. Matter of fact, maybe her PR did make a statement saying that her and Clifton was still gonna have a wedding on their clothing line, because he got a clothing line with Carmen.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I'm down for all of the
Fashion Week this year.
I'm down for all of the things, and I know he has a beard oil out there. I want everybody to come up and win. So whatever
they should be capitalizing. Everybody that goes on those shows, they should be capitalizing and repping their brand, marketing their brand, because that's, why not? That's the first thing you should be doing. So So
Yeah,
yeah, but
even Gutter
anyway.
Barbie should be a ringtone or something. Like, I'm not gonna listen to the song, but you remember when ringtones were a thing? You can buy them for like
Mm-hmm.
$2.99. That's so funny. Okay, so here we go. And then I felt like, okay, Ashley, you can't just expect people to get over things because that's not the way it goes. And then Quicksilver had a health scare. Oh yeah, I do remember that. And he had
Mm-hmm.
some issues and he got into the hospital and all that stuff. So then we come to the last part of the season where Ashley and Joy, okay, there was several things that happened here that I was glad that I wasn't in that room because it just didn't seem comfortable. Like, first of all, Joy was not planning, or she did not say that she was planning to come to that Christmas party after Ashley had invited her. So then she brings Carmen, which the way they walked in there made me feel like they came with ulterior motives. Not necessarily like they were trying to start something, but she came in, she didn't speak, which, come on, like
Yeah, that's somebody else's house or
in
event.
the Black
Like, it's her house.
community, you know better than that. I don't even have to say nothing about that. Somebody done said something to you in your 40 whatever years that lets you know that it's not cool to not speak to somebody when you walk in their house. You can't even not speak to somebody if you know them a lot of times. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's taking a shade. If I see you in a club and you didn't say nothing, or if I see you in a setting and you didn't say nothing, like, I guess
Yeah,
we're
but it's different. It hits
it's a
different
whole different story
their
when you come
event.
into someone's house
In their event, yeah. Yeah.
and you didn't RSVP, and so nobody was expecting you. Then you bring someone who, I don't know if she had commingled with the group before, but it was obvious like that they were not coming like on some men the friendship type thing. So I thought that was wrong on Joy's part. But then they get into an interesting situation because Ashley in her own house, having drinks, having a Christmas party. I have to imagine they were having a really good time and she was probably throwing them back. And she sees Joy, and just knowing how Ashley is, like, oh, I'm not getting ready to
Yeah,
decide
that definitely
say
wasn't gonna
nothing.
fly.
So I'm sure that she was all rah rah, and then she went to approach Joy, and Joy didn't seem inebriated at all. If she was, I would be shocked because it just didn't seem like it. Um, but then they had a little bit of a beef, a little bit of a spat because Ashley was talking up, bringing up the situation of like how she got them on the show, she pitched them for the show. Someone,
Yes, yes.
okay, look, what do you think about that? Because I got a
Well,
whole
yeah,
list of that.
I feel like this is deja vu, but we're gonna go to it
Did we
again.
talk about
Because
this
I was
already?
like, look, if in DC, once you get so close and you start doing this, then I
Oh,
mean it's not about to be, it's about to be something different. And I was shocked that no security or nobody came to break them up until so far into it. Like I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I was like, bruh, that's
did you think that was very fight?
yeah, I thought it was gonna be a fight any minute.
Mm.
Ashley from Baltimore, and so is Joy, isn't she? They're both from Baltimore. Yeah, hell yeah, I thought it was gonna be a fight. I was wondering when they was gonna come and stop it.
I didn't
I was
think it was
like,
gonna. I never thought it was gonna be a fight because I don't think either of them. Well, I don't know. I never thought it was going to be a fight though. For some reason, I
I
just thought they were
did.
just going to be screaming. Only
Nah,
because I
I didn't think it was going. I didn't think it was going to be like a.
like a screaming match, like it got to be.
Nah, I mean, like she even said in there, "Don't put your hands on me." Right? I was
Don't
like,
put
it's
your hands
about
on
to
my
go
face. Oh yeah,
down.
yeah.
She said, "Hands on me.
Oh,
Don't
she
touch me,
did.
Ashley, or don't put your hands on me, Ashley." At the end, I felt like I heard that, but either way, I would have been threatened. Like, first of all, I'm in a little box. Once you walk all the way up into the box, then I'm paying attention. Now I'm like,
Yeah. Now
you know
you're
what I'm
in
saying?
mode. You're in mode. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
So
if
I
something
really,
comes
I
in
thought
this
it was gonna be.
box, I'm
I
about
thought
to
it was
swat
gonna
it
be.
out the box.
I was like, oh shit, where's security? It was gonna break
I'm
this thing
so
up.
glad it didn't come to blows because I feel like they
I
they
didn't
would
want
have
to see
both
the
would have
fight though.
regretted
No.
it. They both would have regretted that because nobody
Yeah,
wants to be.
we don't want to see that. But it was about to it was yeah. I mean, if I was in, yeah, it was about. I don't know. I'm not gonna say
So
that because I'm a woman of a certain age, but it's a point that it's just a line that everybody's gonna cross. You know what I'm like? Everybody could cross, and you just have no idea who might push that button. And if I'm standing somewhere and somebody comes into my space, I gotta get you out my space. So somebody could have pushed somebody. It could have been a whatever. I just was like, they need to break this up. They need to break this up. When are they gonna break this up? So
Yeah, we have to bring back in the personal space rule because, as we know, people can get slapped out here in these streets. So we got to be careful about that because you're right. Once you cross a certain line, you could be there
Listen,
could be a reaction, right?
listen.
Like,
I
yeah,
don't care if I'm standing in line at the grocery store. I'm gonna. Your father is really good for this. If you walk into whatever his personal boundary space is a little bigger than mine because he'll stop and stare at people for nothing. But like, I was ringing up some groceries today. I was at Wegmans. And I was in the self checkout line, and so I'm nicely, scanning my shit, putting it in the thing, scanning my shit, putting it in the thing. And one of the times when I reached over to put something in the bag, this lady was standing like right here. So I like looked at her. I was like, "Hello," and she was like, "Oh, did you just put a sweet potato in the bag?" I was like, "Yeah." See, it says sweet potato right there. And she was like, "Oh, well, let me help you out real quick." She put in some code to save me 50 cents. I was like, "Well, thank you." But the fact was, she was right here. And I just was like, I needed to assess the situation. Like, you are really close. How can I help you?
how
You know
can
what
I
I'm
help
saying?
you? Right.
And when I'm talking to somebody,
She almost got slapped over sweet potato.
listen, if you're talking to somebody and I stand up, right? That's one thing. Cause it's like, oh, I'm sitting down, she's standing up. If you talking to somebody, you in their face and it gets, that it's like you don't know where that level is. I mean, you might have in your head, if she does this, I'm gonna walk away, or da-da-da. But once it gets to a certain, like I said, somebody needed to come jump in. Somebody not jump in, but somebody needed to be like, "Hey, y'all need to just go ahead and
smooth this out." But
yeah.
I don't think anybody was going to be able to calm Ashley down because she's in her own house. She already feels slighted from not having her apology accepted, and then on top of that, somebody has come into your house that's not like on good terms with you.
It was just a bad moment. It was a bad moment.
They didn't speak, so it's like. And you had to imagine, like, you come in somebody's house, the first person you're gonna find is the person who lives there. Like, in my opinion, like, you're gonna go say hi. You're gonna go be like, "Hey, I brought you a gift." Or something.
Like I said,
know.
we don't know what else is happening in the background.
For
So
sure.
who even knows? Because I've gone to people's events and I haven't seen them right away. So I don't
Yeah.
know, but it's a touchy situation. Hold on, we
I
have
have to think she knew exactly where she was though, because they had cameras rolling and lights, and you have to be able to see that. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Ashley,
I was just gonna bring up those comments.
Ashley wrote a book confronting her mom about her moving in with a man, but her mom kept the bills paid. Did Ashley get over that? It didn't seem like she did. From what I
remember,
deduced, because I feel like she was bringing it up. I think she was bringing it up because it was about to be fair play for people to talk about because it was in her book. And it's like a certain threshold that you have to, like, okay, listen, I have to prepare you for this. And I don't know if that was the conversation or if she really wanted to have a conversation with her mom about how she didn't feel like she was prepared for that when she was younger. But that's a larger conversation. I couldn't figure that one out. Ellen says, I think Ashley knew Carmen was coming, just not Joy. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, listen, either way, it didn't look like either of them spoke when they came in, because they came in, Ashley saw Joy and didn't say. So it seemed like if Carmen would have come and said hello, then Joy would have as well, because they were there together. So that's weird.
I don't know, but it's always a lot of stuff left out in these reality shows. So I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna, but I'm just sharing my opinion based on how, it looked to me on the TV. And I agree with Gwendolyn. I thought Flesh was gonna connect, because all I'm saying is I was listening with my own ears and I was like,
what's gonna happen next?
Okay, what?
Sound like some fight words to me. Now let's just get into this though, because the context of the conversation was bothersome to me. Like, I don't appreciate. So this is me after saying my piece about how I don't think Joy should come in the woman's house and not speak, because the intentions could be misconstrued, which I believe they were. But on Joy's side, I don't like the idea of me needing to thank you for something. Like, if you pitched me for the show and I got on, like, effective, right? Like, I don't necessarily feel like we need to throw you a party or, you know, sing you a song. Like, okay, thanks. Like, but you don't even really need this. Like, what do I owe you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here just like everybody else showing up, and somebody pitched you for the show once. You know what I'm saying? Once upon
And
a
she
time.
might have said thank you. So
You
I,
might
like
have
I
said
said
thank
last
you.
time, like I feel like I can understand both sides because, um, you know, I mean,
My
Joy
issue with
and
that
Clifton
though,
already
is
had
like,
their
you
stuff
know,
going.
that didn't come up until Joy started to have an issue
We
with
don't
Ashley.
know that
Yeah,
because she
that's true.
just said
I
it,
know. I
but
don't.
she
Fair,
could have
fair.
been waiting for this thank you the whole time. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And so Joy and Clifton already had their things popping. She was being invited to speak on the Steve Harvey thing and all of
Yeah.
that. And they could have been invited by somebody else as well, right? But I think that Ashley was feeling she was feeling slighted, you know what I'm saying? Then she came to her, you know, she just how everything played out, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so it's like, dang, I can't get no like kind of understanding, and I did try to help y'all or whatever kind of thing. But again, she doesn't know them like that. So I can understand, I can see it both ways. I can see it both ways because of how she came at Joy, you ain't getting that. But if she would have been went about it a different way and not told the secret that she said not to tell,
Yeah.
then she might have been like, you know what, you're right. Thank you. But the delivery, just like I was saying about how Clifton said to Joy what he said, like you shouldn't have told nobody. Um, his delivery is different. You have to have a different delivery with people who have like such strong personalities, as you know, because sometimes stuff just doesn't come across the way that you might think it would because of how you're saying it. You know what I'm saying? So if it was a different situation, I don't think it would have came like that. But I think that whole thing just made it worse. I don't know. So I'm ready for the reunion. I'm ready for the reunion.
I'm ready for the reunion too, and I don't think anything's gonna pop off. But I liked to see them all together, but it does seem to be somewhat of a power struggle now. And just that comment being made about her needing to be thanked for what she did for them, which was pitch them for the show, apparently. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's some real, let me be careful with my words here. It just seems, I don't want to call it petty, but it just seems like, you know, it's not, I mean, I can't say it's not relevant, but it just it's like we're so far along the show for you to just be bringing that up. It just seems
She may not have just brought
retaliatory or
it up though,
something.
but it could have happened before that. You know what I'm
If
saying?
she could have had an issue before that, but she didn't bring it up, and it seemed like
Imagine your mother recommending a restaurant to somebody and that person going to the restaurant and getting a discount because of mommy or actually getting in or eating good food and they didn't come back and say thank you. I know your mother would be like, she didn't even thank me for that
didn't even thank
recommendation.
me.
So
Yeah,
I
she
feel
is
like
big
the
on that.
thank you is important because it's not saying
You're
that like
right.
how she was taking it like what you made me. It was the delivery. It's all in how she approached Joy. Like I felt Joy in that moment because like we did have our own things going on. So like whatever, but I see what Ashley's saying too. But she just went about it.
In
They
a
just have
different
two
way.
strong personalities, and they just gonna butt heads or whatever. But I can see both sides of it. Because like you just never know how things would have played out. But because it's because one of those things is you can't prove that because you're on the show is because of me. She can't prove that, but she just knows that she pitched it. So it's one of those things that she could take credit for because she did pitch it.
Yeah.
It's like saying something before it happens or whatever. It's like, yeah, you did say that, or whatever. Like props to you or whatever. Like it was just the delivery to me, how she came at Joy.
You gotta come correct. I completely am with that. It's like,
I think
yeah,
that's
I
what's
get it.
going on because Arena doesn't have problems with Joy like this because Arena's personality
Well,
is different.
Well, then, okay, that was another thing. I'm gonna touch on this briefly, and then we got to talk about Ready to Love Miami. But I didn't also understand when Joy got, was like leaving the house, like, okay, this is a crime scene waiting to happen. Let's get out of here. And then Arena was like, it seemed like she was trying to mend the situation, like she went to go check on Joy, right?
Yeah, I just want to say that it was so shady how production got Arena going out the door to go help talk to Joy like that. Like when Ashley was like, "If you going out there, then forget you too." Right now, I was like, "Oh my god!" Right?
Like, why is it like that? It's like I can't go check on this person. Like we was just cool a week ago, so it's like, so when that happened,
because
and then
at that point it was a pick a side thing in Ashley's mind, I guess. Like you at my
when
house,
she came
she
back
came in here,
in,
she speak to me, and you gonna run out there with her. But Arena's in a situation where she's, cool. I feel like Arena, I don't know, they're in the situation where they're cool. You know what I'm saying? That was just crazy. I was like, Ashley, oh my god.
yeah, she was pissed, and I was like, "Dang, Arena didn't deserve that." She was trying to like mend the fence, like she was trying to mend it.
But you got those, like, I'm not, and I'm gonna put myself in the group of these people that I'm about to talk about, because you have those people that have strong personalities that mean well, but when they feel like they've been slighted in some kind of way, it's really nothing you can say at that point. You have to kind of let the shit play out and then kind of try to mend the situation, because what will happen is that person will cause a bunch of other chain reactions based on how they're feeling in that moment. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole bunch of misunderstandings that can happen. And I felt like when she said that, when Raina was going on, I was like, "Oh my god, you couldn't have just not said anything. You could have just gone upstairs and just."
I'm pretty sure she was lit that night. Like, it's a Christmas party.
Right? Yeah,
It's a Christmas party. You're at home at your own Christmas party, and people are here, and there's the music was popping, because my husband's a DJ, so he either hired somebody bomb or he curated the play. So I know that party was off the chain. I just know it.
Yeah, but, you're right. So but I'm here for the reunion or whatever, though. So I really am.
I'm looking forward to the reunion. I hope nothing, goes awry. And I want to see everyone back for the next season. Like, I hope they don't really get rid of anybody. If somebody decides to leave, then good for them. Like, you got to do what you got to do. But I liked this particular cast, and I would like to see them, what happens.
Yeah, I like this particular cast, and I like that Joy and Clifton were added. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really like this. I feel like if they could just work together, then they'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be. But you gotta have some type of drama. It's like something's bound to be leaked out. Somebody's bound to disagree, and some of these things could also be pre-planned, right? Because even if they got married, that could have been a whole plan the whole time to be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna tell her and see what happens. I mean, I'm not saying that they're lying, but I'm just saying we just never know how these things come about. You
just never know for sure. You know what I mean? You don't know. We don't know anything for sure. But I gotta say this though. Well, she learned from that. If that was the case, and it's possible that they could have like not really cared that much. But my imagination took me to this idea that maybe they did it to not have it be such a big deal, because like once you start planning a wedding, it's such a big deal, and there's so much money involved, and there's so much stress, and like if you could avoid that and just go and get it done, then that's appealing. And perhaps they didn't tell all of their family members.
Right. She said they didn't tell certain family members, but I remember we were saying that Clifton was about to go into surgery, and anything could have happened. So it would make sense, if you love me and I love you, why don't you just make sure everything's all right? Why don't we make sure it's everything? And I can see him suggesting that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's in the hospital for a while and he couldn't even move his legs. So you never know what's going to happen anytime you're going to go to surgery. So it makes total sense that they got married. But I'm just saying that, because of how Ready to Love has jaded me and some of these other shows, like, I feel like that could have just been a way that they could just introduce it without, because I mean, it's more pizzazz with the way that it came out versus, we went to the courthouse. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It is. So, and let me say this too. This is one of the reasons the drama. Okay, so look, I kind of like a little bit of drama. And for years, I've been watching reality shows. And one of the funnest things about reality shows is to see people in dramatic situations and how they handle it, because hopefully I'll never be in any of these situations, but especially not on TV. And it's interesting to see, like, oh, this is how this person handled it. I would handle it like this. So it's interesting to me to watch. So I get why there has to be drama. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm just ready for the reunion. You know what I'm saying? So That's all I want to see is the reunion. So,
all right, so let me bring up your favorite people.
yes, this is what we should have been talking about first. We should have
I'm
talked about
sorry, everybody. This is wild.
No, you're good. You're good.
Listen, where did we start off last time? I feel like people started coupling up. Oh, they had they went to that it wasn't like a retreat, but they made the candles. I remember that happened, and then
that was the getaway. Yeah,
and then
this episode
she met the family, or like they met the families, right? Like they met the like Tony and Morgan. Tony introduced Morgan to his sister.
Wait, the last episode was the finale. The women introduced the men to their families.
Yeah.
So because I think before that they met the men's families, but the men had to meet the women's families, and plus it was choosing day. So but you're right. The week before that, the women met the men's family.
So I'm forgetting. So I remember Morgan's brother. I remember Cynthia's sister and cousin. Mm-hmm. I remember. So who did Mercedes bring?
Mercedes brought her friend because her mom couldn't make it.
Oh, okay. And then who did Jeffrey bring?
Jeffrey brought her sister to meet Andre.
Okay, why don't I remember that?
I don't know because
I kind of do. Okay, I remember
because it wasn't that long.
She be looking high when she be sitting there because she just be having this face like, oh.
It's she looks like she's completely unbothered all the time. You're right. She do look like she could be possibly high.
Like, are you blinking or are you falling asleep?
She reminds me of somebody that we both know, and I'll tell you, behind the scenes, whatever.
Okay.
I don't think that Jeffrey is genuine, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. Like she just kind of, it just doesn't seem like she's being her authentic self. That's all I'll say. I don't know her, but that's
agreed. Agreed, and I think that's the thing that we all sort of sniffed out. Not all. I mean, we're not a coalition here, but I think that a lot of people who have discussed the whole Jeffrey situation when it came up with Simone, and even towards back, like not the very beginning, but like once we started to know more about her story and stuff like that, the same ones of us who were like suspicious about things, I think we're kind of proven correct in certain ways, because it's like, the thing that irritated, so first of all, is the condescending talk, and then is the inauthenticity. Like you can tell when somebody's not being authentic, and that was one of the things that was kind of bothersome to me. And I also feel like, just going back, and I know we already talked about this, but when she met Andre's sister and niece, I felt like they could smell it, and they were just not impressed with her.
They were not impressed at all. Okay,
I think that was not having it. I think that's the thing. Like, you can respect somebody when they're just showing up as themselves, even if their answers aren't perfect or pretty. It's just like, oh, okay, I see who you are. I get it. But when somebody is kind of like playing games or hiding behind something, you can tell, you can sniff it out, and it's uncomfortable. So I think
you can tell. You definitely can. But people that do that don't think that you can tell. They think
like, well, I said this, so what? This is all you're basing it off of? No, we're basing it off of a lot of stuff that it doesn't sit right. And
some people's delivery comes off a bit stronger than others when they're, voicing that kind of opinion. And I feel like, I just don't think she was being herself. So yeah. I don't know Jeffrey, but we're gonna wait to see what happens in the reunion, because that fucking trailer was
I can't wait.
A little bit juicy to me.
Yo, it was. And I know sometimes in these shows they just be piecing stuff together that didn't really go together, and I hope this is not the case. I don't think it could have been, because of the way they said it. But like, didn't you tell me that they shot this reunion way back before? So
before the show even aired, okay.
So some of those things that Simone said were brought up in the reunion, and I have to imagine that, so when Jeffrey came out live with all of this drama from the Simone thing, it's like, how could you even be on on that when you know good and well they brought it up at the reunion. Anyway.
See, but okay, so that's the thing. We don't know how much they would have been able to bring up at the reunion. The only thing, and that's why I'm glad that Simone had asked that question when Suanne was on there, because that makes a lot of difference. Because the only thing that they would have known is whatever they were a part of or whatever they may have heard about in the lounges and whatever they talked about. They wouldn't have known how everything was going to be pieced together. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what is going to be addressed. But then at the same time, if they filmed this right after the reunion, the good part is that we get to see exactly where they were all, what headspace they were all in right after they finished wrapping up, which I feel like that's going to be a good thing or whatever. But
before they got the chance to see anything, anybody's confessionals, anybody's reactions, anybody else's connection.
And they probably showed them some things at the reunion, but they probably did not, because they watched this show unfold with us, right? And so, it's oh gosh, I don't even know what to say about that.
I can't wait for this reunion, though. I can't even tell you how much I'm anticipating it.
So, no, because let's talk about the end part, because
let's talk about the choosings.
Yes, because I was shocked about
the choosings. I would have get chose.
I mean, hey, we all trying to get chose for something, you know.
I hear that. Listen, I did want to get chose. I ain't even go front. I definitely
no shade in that, but
I'm not mad at that. But some people like okay. So full disclosure, everyone, I fell asleep on the last 10 minutes, which is ridiculous. I know, but
what was the last part you saw? But you probably already saw who everybody picked, though, because you probably watched stuff afterwards, right?
James ruined it for me. So I know.
Shout out to James.
The things that I assumed. I think I actually saw Cynthia choose, or Cynthia and Anthony choose one another. Mercedes did not choose Mark Anthony, right?
That's the one that shocked me. I thought that she was head over heels in lust with him.
I listen. Well, she could still be, but she could still get it.
Yeah, but I just didn't think that she was thinking with a clear enough mind to do that. Remember, I told you I thought Cynthia seemed like the girl that would choose herself, but I was wrong about that.
I thought Cynthia and Anthony. Let me tell you something about Cynthia and Anthony. Cynthia and Anthony has so much chemistry, and I felt like they're the responsible people. And now I don't know them; they could have been boning and whatever they was doing, but I feel like they took it seriously and they took it slower, and they really got the chance to be attracted to each other. And I felt like they really had a strong connection, and they were really into each other. So I felt for sure that they were going to choose each other, because when they went away to the little getaway, they were all burned up.
I think Cynthia she comes across as a very genuine person. She seemed like she knew exactly what she wanted. She looked like she seemed like she thought before she spoke. Mm-hmm. And she carried herself really well. Like, she didn't have any bad edits that I could see, neither did Anthony, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like they did actually, I feel like their connection was we're used to seeing, we wanted to see a connection like Joy and Clifton, right? Or when you watch the first one, Mike and Shay. We wanted to see that connection that you could eat with a spoon, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But their connection wasn't jumping off the screen like that to us, but you could really tell by certain things how she was greeting him as husband, how he was intentional with her and stuff. And so I really think that they're gonna be a good couple or whatever. So I can't wait to see what happens. I hope they stay together.
I hope so too.
So Andre and Jeffrey picked
I didn't see that part, but I could have imagined. I would have put money on that.
Did I put this picture in here? I don't think I did.
I could have imagined that that's what was going to happen with them. I'll look over
here. But
it
would have been so messed up if it would have went the other way, because of, because it was Cynthia. Cynthia had 2 connections and Andre had 2 connections. So what if Andre would have picked Cynthia, that would have left Anthony out in the cold, and it would have left Jeffrey out in the cold. But I would have been more concerned about Anthony, because I feel like he was intentionally trying to, be there.
If Andre picked Cynthia? Has that ever happened before, where 2 people pick one person?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I put you on the spot there.
I think that people have not chosen people, And I think that, like, maybe somebody might have been left out there standing wondering what a person was, but I can't remember who that was. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm about to see if I can find the picture because everybody was talking about um her dress, Jeffrey's dress at the end.
I'm looking in the overlays. If you put it in there, I'll
Yeah, I'm
find
about to add it in there. If I did I take that one? Because I don't know what Andre was doing. Damn it, I didn't do it. I did, but I don't want to show it like that because it looks unprofessionally taken. I took it from the TV and I don't really want to show it like that.
So you're talking about Jeffrey's dress at the choosing?
Yeah. But I felt like their fly matched. You know what I'm saying? I felt like their fly matched. Where's my phone at? Because maybe I could do it from my phone.
Look, I
Really
could have.
supposed to do it.
I didn't see that firsthand, but I could have. I completely could have.
He had on some damn pool shoes, and she had on like a dress that you could see through certain parts of skin, but it was frilly at the bottom. You know what? Let me hold up. I'm gonna go.
But she was so about dressing like a school teacher when she met the
Oh my God, that was so funny when Cynthia said she had a thing up to her neck. She was like, "Who is this? Where's my phone?"
right. Like, what are you? You know what I'm saying? But listen, this all goes into my theories about what about people.
Let me see.
Real or not.
Anyway,
See. So okay, and then the shocker was that Morgan did not pick Tony. She chose herself.
I was shocked about that too, but then upon further reflection, I was like, she was holding back that shit for the longest time, and she said, you're gonna be the one looking stupid on TV and not me." And I really want to know at what point did she decide that she was gonna do that, because like she really had it, she really was ready to do that. And Tony was mad. Okay, it looked like
I want to see that.
It looks like she gave the flowers back. He came with a gift and flowers, but he didn't ever give her the gift as far as I could see. But he said that pretty much he was like, she ain't gonna never get another chance to do that. And I was like, yeah, he's an Aries too. If he was to do that, that means he probably really was sorry about his behavior, because that I know his fist was balled up. That was a long walk away with the flowers back after she said that, because you gotta watch the last 10 minutes, you
I gotta watch it, guys. That was an epic fail on my part. Like, what do I even think I'm doing? What am I doing out here on these streets? 2 demerits. Oh, look at what Ellen said. Hold up, let me see. Jeffrey looked like she was wearing her daughter's 8th grade prom dress. Lord Jesus, I got to see this.
Andre had on pool shoes. Hold on, I'm about to get it. Hold on.
I got to see this, guys. I'm so disappointed in myself. Can I just put myself on probation right now? Because, like, who the hell do I think I am? Thank you, production. Who the hell do I think I am? Not, sir. Who the hell do I think I am not being up on what actually happened and what people were wearing? Like, this is, I missed the whole thing, guys. I'm sorry.
But look, I already told him, once you be like you sleep, it's a wrap. She about to be out.
Who, me?
All right. Whenever you say you're going to go sleep.
Oh, yeah. It happened so quick, too. It happened so quick, too, because I was like, I'm going to bed. Let's turn this off. He was like, come on, it's only 15 minutes left. And I stayed for 5 minutes. I stayed up. I think. I don't know.
You are really an old person, young. Who does that?
I just go to bed. It was just like, okay, it's done. Yes. Like when I used to, unfortunately,
all right,
when I used to drink, and, even when I used to go out with my friends, I won't even say when I used to drink because I still drink, but I don't drive after. But when I used to go out with my friends, I knew how much time I had to get home. It would just be like, all right, guys, I'm out, because I know, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting sleepy. And I know I know myself. Like, I'm not getting ready to like wait. Like, I'm going home. I've had my fun. I've done what I've come to do. It's done. I'll see you tomorrow. She said, go watch it real quick so we can talk about it. It was crazy. Oh, look at this guy.
Hilarious.
This guy right here. I do want to see it, guys, but I don't want to waste this picture.
I'm about to put the picture up. I just got the picture of Jeffrey by herself. Hold on, let me see. We're gonna do Jeffrey by herself, and then I got a picture of them together. I don't know what Andre was doing, but it's Andre. But that's what I'm saying. I felt like their whole styles matched. You know what I'm saying? To me, I
Well,
was like,
I
oh,
feel
that
like
makes sense to
he could. What the hell is that?
oh my gosh,
Oh
bro.
my gosh! With the ruffles,
And
dude.
then this is them
You have to
together.
go. All right. Oh God. I feel like I
He had
did.
on like some slip on, some of them slip on tennis shoes that I don't even feel like you could play basketball in those because somebody was like, oh, he
No,
was going to
but
basketball afterwards. He would break his ankles in them Jones, but they look like some
they
little
probably
cool
cost
shoes.
a lot of money, and he thought that was okay. But you know what's funny? Just looking at her, like you remember that show, Carmen? It was like a movie or something, Carmen with Dorothy Dandridge. That's what that looks like. And I just have to let you all know, if you didn't already, that she specifically picked out that dress. She couldn't wait to put
Oh,
that joint
yeah.
on. She was like,
Absolutely.
"Wait till I do this. Wait till they see me in this."
That's why I feel like he did the same thing. That's why I'm like, their styles match to me. But
Horrible
according
Tinky.
to the reunion, it doesn't seem like everything stayed that way because I don't know how else. I mean, because they could say, "Oh, that's edits or whatever," but they weren't getting along. It didn't look like to me.
Hello. And it didn't look like that to me. And here's why I'll say, and even though this has only been a preview that I saw, her voice changed. Like the whole,
Somebody did say she talked to her real tone of voice on that.
the whole baby thing went straight away when she started talking about these phantom baby fathers and how it was their fault and black men do this and that. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that because nobody's sitting there talking about black women this and that. Like, let's not generalize here.
Yeah, I felt like it was wrong
That
for her to generalize that
yeah,
statement or whatever, but it sounded like Blake spoke up and a bunch of other people said something too.
yeah.
But I mean, that's not even the way that you should combat that to me. Like, the reason why it's such a big deal is because of how she made, like, she is, like I said, she weaponizes her kids. And when you do that, all these other things, she could have just not even gone that route and nobody would have been sitting there talking about how they're not around. Like, it wouldn't have been an issue. But you brought it out. So, I don't know.
Listen, her voice was deep. No,
I was waiting for her sister to talk like her. I was like, okay, well, her sister seems to talk regularly.
No, because it was fake. Like, it was fake. And that's one thing I'll say about us is that if I was out here in these streets being fake, my sister would be one of the first people, and my mother.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? Like, me and James joke about it all the time. Like, I'll be like, I'm transgender. You didn't know that. He was like, nah, your mom would have told me. Your sister would have told me. I was like, you're right. You're damn right they would have. And what's funny is, like, that's not
okay. Hold up.
It's
remember that time we went out?
I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, we went to a club one time, and it was like this live band there, or whatever. It was packed in there, and me and her walk up in the place. You know what I'm saying? We two little cute girls that looking like, oh, who are they? And this dude came up talking to us or whatever. I knew the dude. And she was just meeting the dude. And I was like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. He was like, oh, who's this? And I was about to say, this is my little sister. As soon as he said, who is this? Or what's your name? This man turns around and says, Steve. He was like, the look on his face was like, what is happening right now? She hurried up and changed it, but it was funny to see that shit happen. But anyway, go ahead.
That's just hilarious. But I mean, look, these days people can get hurt for stuff like that. But it was a joke. But also, listen, that's one thing that will not fly in our family, and it doesn't even stop with my sister and my mother. Like, I don't really feel like I could be around my aunts and them like let me fake about something. Like, I don't think I could be around too many of my cousins. A couple of them might let me get away with it, but
somebody is bound to be messy.
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah, somebody's bound to be messy. And
somebody's going to say something.
They're gonna say it with a smirk on their face. It's gonna be like,
what? They will not let. I mean, listen, and it's a good thing. But I'm just saying, like, I can see that Jeffrey is not. Look, she kept it all the way 100 when she was up there in that blonde bob giving the business when she, when we see her in the preview of the reunion. So I'm ready to see that because I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little bit of the real her. And we saw a little bit of that when she was talking about Blake on the boat, when she was talking about Sue Ellen. So I feel like, you're not all.
See, but I don't know. That whole Blake situation kind of makes me feel like she, like I said, these people all are just meeting each other. So it's not past anybody. I wouldn't put it past anybody to not go into any of those confessionals or any of those men's or women's lounges and lie purposely just to see who bites the lie. You know what I'm saying? And so that seemed like kind of what she was doing. Like she thought that she was gonna come and throw Sue-Ann off or some other woman off by saying, "Oh, he did this. Oh, he did that." You know what I mean? And then her and Morgan are hanging tight, and Morgan cussed out Jake. Morgan fussed out Blake. So it was like, did she do that based off of her, conversations with Jeffrey, or is that how she really felt? Because as a lot of people are talking, a lot of people didn't feel like that about him. So, and then when I watch his interviews, he doesn't come off like that. I mean, he still comes off as a certain regimented person, like a rigid person, right? But it what was that all for? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Here's the correction that I made.
Oh, hold on.
You can hear that?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, what was that? We don't need to know what it was, but
it was me bringing up Hulu, and like it was a game on or something that just popped up because I was bringing up Hulu to see if I could look at this clip on silent. One day I'm gonna learn how to work a computer like a real boy. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that even in spite of, damn, I lost it just that quick, guys.
What was you talking about? Like how Jeffrey was?
Yeah, it all comes out. Oh, about Blake. So here's what I've realized post haste, like after the fact, is that when I was seeing the thing happen on TV, I was thinking like, why wouldn't he take up for himself? And now I'm referring all the way back when I first said, oh, Blake must have been lying because why wouldn't he say something, right?
Right.
And now it occurred to me after watching the show and after seeing it that like, oh yeah, they can't see the confessionals. Mm-hmm. They can't really see a lot of the stuff. And it's not really in a lot of dudes' character to be like following the drama point. Like, no, let me tell you, right? Like, let me clarify. It's like a lot of guys are just going to be like, man, whatever, get out of here.
Yeah, especially if like he put it how he put it in his interviews. I'm like, okay, now I get that because, if I ask you a question and you don't answer the question, I might ask again, but I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you if you're not trying to.
Especially if you're not my prospect.
So now looking back, it seems like I said, she tried to just put something in the atmosphere and it didn't stick. And then he didn't approach her like she wanted to. Like she was like, well, what was said? What did you hear? And he wasn't willing to come and say, well, this is what I heard, because he wanted her to be like, well, this is what I said.
Messy.
Yeah. So, yeah. It was a nothing burger from the start. But the way, like you said, that we were looking at it, we had seen confessionals, we had seen this, we had seen that, and they don't have all that information. So I understand why he didn't, but like, yeah, we were like, why wouldn't he just debunk her lie? You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. So that's something that I'm going to keep in mind as we continue to review these shows, is like, I feel like I come to conclusions. I cut to conclusions quickly before I really even understand who everybody is. Ellen said the way Blake was dodging Kojo. For real? Kojo was trying to interview?
He was because, I'll just bring up this part. They were having a conversation about, like, what's your ideal, like what your ideation is. Like when you think of marriage and stuff like that, you think of it because of what you've seen or been exposed to. You know what I'm saying? And he went back and forth with him. Like he wasn't trying to, he was like, well, I didn't get it from anywhere. It's just mine. It was just like, okay.
He wasn't answering the question.
He wasn't really answering the question. And Kojo's funny because sometimes when he like, cause he's not like a messy person, and when he does these interviews and he's confused, it's like he just sits there like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
this is so funny, and then he'll rephrase the question or whatever. But yeah, I did see that too, Ellen. I did see that.
So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of those because I missed a couple of those interviews. But now it's basically like interview season, and I can't wait. So I'm basically about to binge watch Love Is Blind, and I'm gonna watch Put a Ring on It, the next few episodes. And oh wait, Ellen said something else. I'm about to bring her comment up. But after I do that, I cannot wait to watch this reunion. And I think, did we decide what we're gonna do tomorrow?
Yes, so I'm gonna come over there and we're just gonna do like a live reaction kind of thing. We could put it on the TV and then we could just have the conversation while it's while it's going on. That way we won't have to sync our TVs and nothing like we did that last time.
Yes.
We'll just do it like that. So
that's gonna be so fun. So I can't wait. So I got some work to do tomorrow.
Is James gonna cook?
Look, listen. Yeah,
what are we eating? You know what I'm saying?
That's his job. I'm gonna make sure that he has something prepared for us. So I'm gonna say yes to that, and I can't wait for tomorrow. But okay, wait. Ellen says, duck and dodge. Okay, so the way Blake was dodging Kojo, duck and dodge, and then she said he never wanted kids or marriage. You know what's funny? I remember back to the beginning with what's her name? The one who I was like, she needs to get voted off or date Fabrice. What is his name? What is her name? Let me go to the cat.
Yeah, who?
The girl who Corvaya.
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember they had a conversation about marriage, about kids, and he was talking about how single parent kids or something like that turn out a certain way or whatever. And Mercedes was involved in that conversation. This was like one of the very first conversations that happened amongst the cast. And I remember thinking like, okay, he has 3 kids by 3 different women, and he was saying it like, oh yeah, I've been there and did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, so what does that mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, from what I was hearing on part of the interview, he didn't really necessarily want to get married, like Ellen said. He I think he's a preacher's kid too. So I think that he might have just been doing it because she was pregnant, let's get married kind of thing or whatever. That's how I took it. But I don't know. I gotta go back and watch the whole interview now that I think about it, because I watched something else must have happened while I was watching that, because it's been a whole lot of drama on YouTube. And Ellen has a good point about Love Is Blind, because that is part of the drama that's on YouTube too. But I did not see the herpes part.
I can't wait. So I'm about to jump into all of this stuff. I'm about to get rid of this comment because I don't even want to put 2 and 2 together. I want to be just as shocked and appalled.
Yeah, but I'm going to say, and hopefully y'all can read between the lines when I say this, because I feel like y'all should be able to. But like when I say that somebody's person is not there, like I feel like I said that about Calvin. I don't feel like his person was there. I did say that I wanted to say that about Blake, but this character Marshall on Love Is Blind, just don't feel like his person was there. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But you just watch it and see what happens, because I gotta fill you in on all of the shit that's come out after in the last week or so. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait to reconvene with y'all tomorrow evening. On tomorrow, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna go through a few points, but we're gonna go through this reunion. It's gonna be fire.
Yes, we're gonna do that.
Anyway, thanks guys for coming to join us for another episode. I don't even know how I can put this thing up there. I'm sorry.
What
silly.
Thing?
The one that you made. I don't even know. Is it this one?
Oh, you talking about the Make sure the link is in the description below for that new channel. Thank y'all for watching and listen to us just, fill each other in pretty much. So come back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do a live review of the reunion and see what happened. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got for y'all tonight. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
all I got for y'all. Y'all stick in there and just work with me on this because I'm trying to catch up on my shows. I appreciate your thoughtfulness.
Rachel saw her herpes meds. Oh Lord.
Okay, I gotta go back and look at
Yeah,
this.
you
I
gotta
don't know
watch
who these
it. You
people
gotta
are.
watch it. I can't say nothing like I want to say right now because she hasn't seen most of it. So I
We're gonna
pretend like
talk
you didn't
about
even see
this.
that. Okay, pretend like you didn't even see that.
We're
Just
gonna
go
talk
ahead
about
and
this.
wow.
But anyway,
That's a lot I can say about that, but I'm gonna go. All
yes,
right,
you shut your mouth right now, young lady.
we're gonna see you guys tomorrow for the reunion review recap rant. I'm just gonna let y'all know beforehand. We do talk while we're watching TV, but you know we're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. But those who don't care and want to come over here and talk shit with us, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
So, anyway, we're gonna see y'all tomorrow. All right, you got any last words, sis?
That's it. Thanks for joining us. See you later.
Peace.